In the year 710 AD, an unstoppable force crossed the Strait of Gibraltar, forever changing the destiny of a land. A city that would become a beacon of culture and knowledge in the Middle Ages. This is the story of the conquest of Granada. Join us on a journey through time, where battles, intrigue, and architectural wonders reveal how the Muslims transformed a small city into the beating heart of Al-Andalus. Are you ready to discover the legacy that still echoes in the stones of the Alhambra? Let's begin! In the year 710 AD, the Iberian Peninsula was a mosaic of Visigothic kingdoms and tribes. Among them, Granada, a prosperous and culturally rich city, was located in the south, in what is now known as Andalusia.
Reports indicate that the Muslims have crossed the strait. We must prepare for war.
Your Majesty, our military strength is superior. We should not fear these invaders.
But Your Majesty, we must be cautious. Their war tactics are different from ours.
Brothers, we have crossed the strait for a reason. Allah guides us, and with His help we will conquer these lands.
Allahu Akbar!
The Battle of Guadalete was decisive. The Muslims, with their innovative strategies and the leadership of Tariq ibn Ziyad, defeated the Visigothic army.
Observing the city, Granada, a jewel in the south of Al-Andalus. Here we will establish a bastion of culture and knowledge.
Under Muslim rule, Granada became a center of knowledge, art, and culture. The Alhambra, a symbol of this era, still stands as a testament to the greatness of Al-Andalus. The conquest of Granada by the Muslims marked the beginning of a golden age in the Iberian Peninsula, an era of coexistence and cultural flourishing that left an indelible mark on the history of Spain. After the conquest, Granada began to flourish under Muslim rule. Mosques, palaces, and gardens were built, and the city became a center of trade and culture.
Granada is now a beacon of knowledge and culture. Here, poetry, science, and philosophy find their home.
In the gardens of the Alhambra, words bloom like roses. Wisdom is our legacy.
Under the Nasrid dynasty, Granada reached its peak. The construction of the Alhambra, a palace fortress, symbolized the grandeur and splendor of this era.
Every detail must reflect the glory of Al-Andalus. This palace will be a lasting legacy.
Granada was not only a political and military center, but also a melting pot of cultures and religions. Muslims, Jews, and Christians lived together, exchanging ideas and knowledge.
Welcome, friends. Here you will find the best of East and West.
Science and philosophy have no borders. Granada is a refuge for knowledge.
Granada was a beacon of the Islamic Golden Age, where the arts and sciences flourished. Mathematicians, astronomers, doctors, and poets contributed to the legacy of Al-Andalus.
The stars tell us about the mysteries of the universe. In Granada, we seek to unravel them.
Each verse is a window to the soul. Here, poetry is as essential as the air we breathe.
The year is 1492. For hundreds of years, the Iberian Peninsula, the land we now know as Spain, was divided. In the north, Christian kingdoms ruled. They looked longingly at the south, where the beautiful cities and fertile lands of Al-Andalus shimmered in the sun. This was the land of the Moors, Muslims who had journeyed from North Africa many years before. The reconquista, the Christian effort to retake Spain, was a long and violent struggle. Generation after generation fought on the battlefields, driven by their beliefs, their ambitions, and their desire for land. By the late 1400s, only one Muslim kingdom remained, the Emirate of Granada. This small but proud kingdom, with its magnificent capital city, was the last stand of Islamic civilization in Western Europe, but its time was running out. In the north, two rulers, Isabel of Castile and Fernando of Aragon, had united their kingdoms through marriage. Ambitious, deeply religious, and willing to do whatever it took, they saw the conquest of Granada as the final step in the reconquista. It was a chance to create a united Spain under the banner of Christianity.
The fall of Granada will be felt far beyond the borders of Spain. It is more than just a conquest. It is a symbol of our unity and strength.
Isabel was a clever politician and a skilled negotiator. She understood the power of symbols and grand displays.
We must gather a mighty army equipped with the latest weapons. Cannons will be crucial in the coming siege.
Fernando, a brilliant military strategist, began to assemble a powerful army equipped with the latest weapons, including cannons. Inside the walls of Granada there was a feeling of worry and fear. The once mighty kingdom was a shadow of its former self, weakened by internal conflicts and dwindling resources. The current Sultan, Abu Abd Allah Muhammad XIV, known to history as Boabdil, was a tragic figure.
How can I abandon my city, my people, my heritage to the enemy? Yet, can we really withstand a full-blown siege?
Boabdil knew that Granada could not withstand a full-on siege, yet surrender was unthinkable. It would mean giving up his city, his people, his heritage to the enemy.
My Sultan, some urge us to fight to the death, but others plead for a peaceful agreement. We must choose wisely.
His advisors were divided, some urged him to fight to the very end while others pleaded for a negotiated peace. In the spring of 1491, the Christian army, a massive force of knights, foot soldiers and artillery, appeared on the horizon. The siege of Granada had begun.
Set up fortified camps around the city, cut off their supplies. We will bombard the walls until they crumble.
Fernando, a master of logistics, set up a series of fortified camps around the city, cutting off its supply lines. From these camps, cannons bombarded the city walls, turning them to rubble.
The defenders are fighting bravely, but they are outnumbered and outmatched. It is only a matter of time before the city falls.
Inside Granada, the constant bombardment was taking its toll. Food and supplies were running low. The defenders, outnumbered and outgunned, fought bravely, but they were fighting a losing battle. Still, Boabdil hesitated, clinging to the hope that a miracle might save his city. The siege dragged on for months. The people of Granada, starving and exhausted, begged Boabdil to end their suffering.
My people are suffering and I am torn between my duty and their well-being. What should I do?
Sultan, the time has come to think about negotiating. We cannot let our people suffer like this any longer.
The Sultan, torn between his duty and the suffering of his people, finally agreed to negotiate.
Very well. We will send messengers to Fernando and Isabel, offering to surrender the city in exchange for guarantees of religious freedom and fair treatment for our people.
The Catholic monarchs, eager to avoid further bloodshed and claim their prize, agreed to Boabdil's terms.
They have promised that Muslims in Granada will be allowed to practice their religion freely and keep their property.
And they have pledged that you and your family will be allowed to leave Granada with your possessions and live in safety.
The weight of the crown had finally led Boabdil to a decision, one that would change the fate of Granada forever. Section 6. The Fall of the Pomegranate City.
On January 2nd, 1492, I, Boabdil, dressed in the robes of mourning, rode out of the Alhambra Palace for the last time.
He met Fernando and Isabel at a place called the Vega, a fertile plain outside the city walls.
There, in a serious ceremony witnessed by both armies, I handed over the keys to the city, the symbol of my power and the fate of my people.
As the Christian banners were raised over the Alhambra, a gasp went up from the crowd.
For the Christians, it was a moment of victory, the result of centuries of struggle.
For the Muslims of Granada, it was a day of deep sadness, the end of an era. Section 7. New Masters, Old Grievances. The fall of Granada marked the end of the Reconquista and the beginning of a new chapter in Spanish history. Fernando and Isabel entered the city triumphantly, hailed as heroes by their troops and the crowds who lined the streets. They immediately began to strengthen their control over the city, replacing Muslim officials with Christians and establishing their authority. However, the promises made to the Muslims of Granada were not always kept. Many were forced to convert to Christianity, while others saw their mosques turned into churches. This created resentment that would eventually lead to rebellion and expulsion. Section 8. Legacy of Conquest. The fall of Granada had a huge impact, not just on Spain, but on the entire world. It marked the end of Muslim rule in the Iberian Peninsula and the rise of a united Spain as a major power in Europe. It also had a significant impact on the religious and cultural landscape of Spain, helping to shape its unique identity. The conquest of Granada also had a dark side. It led to the persecution and expulsion of Spain's Jewish and Muslim populations, robbing the country of much of its cultural and intellectual diversity. The legacy of the Reconquista is still felt in Spain today, a reminder of the country's complex and often troubled past. Section 9. A World Transformed. The year 1492 was a pivotal one in world history. That same year, Christopher Columbus, funded by Isabel and Fernando, set sail across the Atlantic, searching for a new route to the East Indies. Instead, he landed in the Americas, beginning an age of exploration, conquest, and globalization that would change the world. The fall of Granada and the discovery of the Americas were two sides of the same coin, marking the end of an old world and the dawn of a new one. The capture of Granada stands as a reminder of the lasting power of faith, ambition, and the human desire for conquest. It is a story of victory and loss, of heroes and villains, of promises made and broken. It is a story that continues to fascinate and inspire us, reminding us of the lasting impact of the past and the challenges we face today. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications for more great content. See you next time.